So the next chapter is the inspection, inquiry and investigation. So what we are going to discuss about in this particular chapter, inspection, inquiry, investigation. So before we move on to the particular topic, inspection, inquiry, investigation, let me make out certain things very clear. First thing, the objectives of this particular chapter and the sequence of study. How to study this particular chapter called as inspection, inquiry, investigation. Just now we completed one chapter called as prevention of oppression and mismanagement. So to that chapter, this chapter will have many interlinkages. So surprised to listen how interlinkages will be there between oppression, mismanagement and investigation chapter. So let's look into that first. Point number one. So the name of the chapter itself is inspection, inquiry, investigation. That means three things are there. Some sections will be governing inspection, some sections governing inquiry, and some sections governing the investigation. 80% of the chapter concentrates on investigation, 20% will be concentrating on inspection and inquiry. So that's how we can tell. So in examinations, both are equally important because of its 80% content. 80% of the chapter questions will not be asked from investigation. You should not go like that. So many a times questions are asked even from the first area, from the inspection, inquiry, and sometimes it will be asked from investigation. Don't make any toss on which questions will be asked in exam. But let us try to understand what is the approach correct. Which approach is a correct approach in order to crack this particular chapter, inspection, inquiry, investigation. So in one of the attempt, if I am not wrong, it will be November 2018 exam. 14 marks were tested from the chapter called as inspection, inquiry, investigation. In some of the attempts, it was asked for 8 marks to 12 marks. This particular area called as inspection, inquiry, investigation chapter is one such important chapter in our curriculum, which will be awarding you a minimum of 5 marks. Minimum 5 marks. Maximum it can run even up to 10 marks or 14 marks or 15 marks as well. So very important chapter. Let's go into that. So when it comes to the sequence of study, which sections are more probable to be asked in examination as an interlinkage with the previous chapter what we have discussed now, oppression, mismanagement. So prevention of oppression and mismanagement chapter, there are 4 sections that are linked here. So before going into that, let's try to understand the sequence of study. Point number 1, 216, 222, 213, 221. Next part, second part will be 206, 2064, 207, 209, 208. Like this, the list will continue. What we will do now in the revision session is, once we complete one part, for example, we completed all these 4 sections. Immediately after completion, I will come back and tick all the 4, such that all the sections that were given here must be completed, except these two. 217 and 212 I am not going to discuss here. 217 is very similar to that of previous sections. Just I will make a 2 to 3 minutes a view of that particular section. But 212, very important section called as SFIO. But I am not going to revise this SFIO here. I will be revising this on the day 2 of our session along with the concept called as a special codes. Which concept? Special codes. Then only you can be appreciating the idea behind that particular SFIO. So it will be more appealing. So it will be more appealing when you are listening to that particular concept once you read this 212 along with the chapter called as special codes, because this is a fraud and crime investigation authority. Special codes is all about a crime. Okay, so let's start with that particular chapter. So the previous chapter what we completed, the prevention of oppression and mismanagement. So this chapter is called as inspection, inquiry and investigation. Chapter will be having 3 parts: inspection, inquiry, investigation. We divided that into 5 parts. So part 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. In 5th part we will be discussing 211, but 212 and 217 we will be discussing in the chapter called as special codes. Shall we start with the concept? So let's open your books and refer to these charts properly. So point number 1, 216, 222, 213 and 221. Why these sections came? So before going into those, and I already told you at the beginning of the session itself, this is a revision session. In a full-fledged session, we can go into the meanings, etc. In examinations, need of that particular section is having a great weightage, because only then we can answer the questions in examination properly. So before going into that, in this revision session, I will just tell you the need for section and we will be reading the section contents directly. Explanations, etc. you can't expect in a revision session. So point number 1, 216. Why 216 section? Before we go into that, first answer to certain important questions that I ask you. Point number one. Just now we completed a chapter called as oppression and mismanagement. Okay. So what is the chapter? Oppression and mismanagement. In oppression and mismanagement chapter, if we go through that very much thoroughly, the revision, whatever we have done, whenever there is an oppression in the company, that means the majority is doing certain wrongful acts and burdensome behavior towards the minority shareholders, what could be the possible remedy available to the minority shareholders? Obviously they will approach the tribunal under section 244. Okay, 244, I think you remember that. So 244, they will approach to the tribunal and they will ask for a needful remedy. So now answer my question. What the tribunal will do? Powers of the tribunal. Just now we read in the revision section 242 section. What are the powers of the tribunal with respect to the complaint made? Tribunal will really check whether the circumstances are prevailing. All these things it will check and it will take an action. What sort of action the tribunal will take? If it is an oppression, I will purchase the shares of shareholders who are committing oppression. Who are committing oppression. You want to purchase the shares of a shareholders who are committing oppression. Okay, you will purchase back the shares. Whose shares you will purchase? Persons who are committing oppression. How do you know they are really committing an oppression? So I will be making a notes in this way. See here. Eligible members under section 244 makes a complaint to the tribunal. Tribunal will take a complaint. Once the tribunal accepts the complaint, it will take an action under section 242. In this 242, one of the action is purchase of the shares of the shareholders who are committing oppression. How do you exactly know who is committing oppression? How do you know exactly these people are doing oppression? One thing, 241 grounds are satisfied. 244 eligible members made application. 242 you are taking an action. Some gap and conduit is there. That means some sort of vacuum is creating here in the concept. 241 eligible members made a complaint under 244 and you are taking action under 242. In between, action will be taken on the members. Which members? How do you know these people are actually committing an oppression? There will be hundreds and lakhs of members in a company. How do you know exactly these people are committing oppression to buy back those shares? So, if this is the question, answer is the gap will be filled by investigation. That's all. That means whenever under 241 eligible members makes a complaint by satisfying the grounds specified under 241, by making complaint under 242, tribunal will conduct investigation under 216 and then take an action under section 242. Since that chapter is oppression mismanagement, this section will be missing. This missing gap section is filled by investigation chapter. So therefore we have to always first read oppression chapter and then come to investigation. If you read investigation first, nonsense is going on. Okay, this is a statement we can make. Literally nonsense is going on, because the idea behind the MCA, when the lawmaker, when he write the law, he will release a commentary and he will release the idea and objective of the section. In that they have given this objective. So unless and until as a sequence they will first come to investigation, but when you are reading and understanding, first we need to complete oppression and then come to investigation chapter. It makes a wide sense. So 241, you made a complaint by satisfying conditions under 241, by eligibility of 244, and tribunal will take an action after conducting investigation under section 216. Now tell me, 216 section is required to know who are doing oppression. Oppression will be generally done by whom? Members. Sorry. Will be generally done by whom? Members. I have to buy back those shares, not buy back, purchase back the shares. So now you should understand one very important point. Once I have to take back the shares, the purchase back the shares from the shareholders who are committing oppression, we need to conduct an investigation or not. That investigation will be conducted under section 216. So this is the basic idea. Clear? So once this is clear, let us make a one step forward. Now the completion of 216 is the main criteria now. That means under section 216 we have to conduct an investigation into what? not in the financial affairs. We need to conduct investigation into the ownership of the company shares. What is that? Ownership of the company shares. Why ownership of company shares? We have to buy back the shares. Yes or no? Once we have to buy back, we need to know who is the real owner of the share to buy back. So therefore, this section concentrates on understanding who is a real owner. Now, in this connection, let's try to understand certain important concepts. First point. Now, to summarize everything, since this is a very logical section, I am taking good time even in a revision session for your clarity. 241 and 244 and 216 and 242. This is a sequence. Now we are into 216. 241, 244 and 242 already completed the previous revision session. That means the previous topic what we completed already closed these areas. So 216. 216 like investigation we have to do. Investigation to know who is mismanaging or who is the oppressive member. So therefore we need to conduct a investigation. Investigation into the financial affairs or into the membership and ownership. Ownership and membership. Okay. Now, owners of a company will be of three types. Third type is an amendment released in the year 2018. So therefore, let us consider this separately. First, let us see the first two. Point number 1 and point number 2. Let's see the first two. Owners will be of two types. First type of owner, who is financially interested in success and failure of the company. I'm interested in success and failure of the company. Company success will be treated as my success. If company fails, I will feel as if I am failed. So that emotionally more connected to the company. These type of people are of the first kind. Second kind, those who just want to make a control of the company affairs. They want to take the policy decisions in their hands, control. And third one, I will discuss that separately. So now use our common sense and try to understand. These people are connected with the success and failure. These people are emotionally connected with the success and failure, and these people are connected only to control the company. Why you purchase the shares? I want to control the company. Now tell me, category 1 and category 2, if you make, who is more dangerous now? Who is having a more likely possibility to commit an oppression? Obviously it is type 2, because they just want to control the company. Therefore investigation will be done to know who is the real persons behind success and failure of the company interest, and those who are just interested in controlling the company affair. These people are the main idea behind investigation. Point 1 completed. Point number 2, this is more dangerous. Why? Let me explain the amendment. So point number 1, X is there. X want to purchase 8% of the shareholding or 10% of the shareholding of some company, and with the 10% I can make some miracles inside the company. I can ask for a poll by myself. I can ask for change in show of hands. I can ask for special notice. I can ask for many things inside the company. 10% is not just a small holding. I myself can do many things with the 10% paid up capital. So therefore, with 8% to 10%, you want to acquire. Okay, with an intention to control the company. Okay, now if he purchases, obviously government will have some look into him. That means why this person has purchased so much shares, vigilance will be kept on him. Obviously whenever some oppression happens, the first person who will be suspected will be this particular Mr. X. Therefore these people don't want to purchase shares like that. What they will do, X will be there, X will be giving money to A, B, C, D and so on. These people will buy the shares with the funding given by Mr. X. Obviously what will happen, if these people buy the shares with the funding given by Mr. X, buying will be done by these persons. Shares will be registered in the names of these persons. But in reality, who is the person at the back? Mr. X. If he purchases, he will be suspected. But if the 10% will be purchased as 1%, 1%, 1% means 1% is not a doubtful percentage. So therefore, with that intention, these people will do. This transaction is called as a Benami transaction. This person will be called as a beneficial owner. Therefore, investigation will be done to know who is a beneficial owner. This is the summary of section 216. In classroom, we can spend another 15-20 minutes on the same aspect. Since this is a revision session, I just want to tell what is there in 216. So therefore, let's see what it is. Investigation into the ownership. First one, initiative by whom? Tribunal. Conducted by central government. Purpose of investigation: to know who are truly interested in success and failure, who are able to control the company, and who is a significant beneficial owner. Now, once we go into this chapter, I want to tell certain important things in this connection. Always remember forever, investigation may be requested, ordered by any person. Any person means, don't think a person on the outside road can make complaint. Any person means, depending on the section applicability, sometimes tribunal, sometimes shareholder, sometimes ROC, like that they will make. But investigation will be conducted only by central government. Don't get unnecessarily trapped into wrong notions. So one thing I want to make very clear, many people will ask me a query. So tribunal can make a investigation. Why court will make investigation? Don't you see the movies properly? Always in movies, if you watch, this court orders a CBI to conduct investigation, they will tell. Always courts will not investigate. Court orders investigation. But investigation will be done by central government. Are you understanding? Cinema jotledeti. So watch movies properly. What you want to convey? So the director was very clear about the movie. Court will not investigate. Court will order authority to investigate. Okay, so never tribunal will conduct investigations. Never it will conduct investigation. Tribunal sometimes may conduct inquiry, but tribunal will never conduct investigations. Okay, so with this intention, let us start. So tell me now, who has asked for? By the way, we forgot to tell one point. Under operation mismanagement, member will make a complaint to central government or to the tribunal. Tribunal. That means action should be taken by whom? Tribunal. Therefore, tribunal is taking an initiative here. So application to whom? CG. Why CG? Just now I told you. Always application should be made to the CG for conducting investigation. Purpose is these three. And CG shall appoint a inspection authority or inspector, you can call. It will decide his scope and powers, and once completed, a report will be sent back to the central government. Now, one important point in this connection. 216 section. Okay, just now whatever we discussed, section 216. Why section 216 came? Section number 242 supportive. Is this the only need of section 216? Is this the only need of section 216? This is one of the need. Okay, connected need. There are many other needs. This is one among them. So don't even trap into a wrong notion that 216 is only for 240. 216 main idea is to have a connection with 242, but it is not the only way. Am I clear, everyone? So, and 216 is to have a ownership of the company shares, ownership of not only shares but also on the debentures, etc. So next issue, 222. Sir, why 222 came? Okay. Now listen to the point carefully. Now, who will conduct the investigation? Central government will conduct investigation. Investigating authority came to the company. Once investigating authority comes to the company and start investigation, all the members will be knowing about the fact that there is going to be an investigation in the company. Immediately, with an intention that they will be caught. If the tribunal, if the investigating authority comes, they might have caught because of the majority shareholding. What they will do, immediately they will make the transfer of shares from one party to another party. The chance is there or not. Therefore, whenever investigation starts under 216, okay, not only under 216, one of the reasons is 216. Whenever the investigation starts, transfer of shares and dealing with the securities in the company will be banned for a period of not exceeding 3 years. How many years? Not exceeding 3 years. That is what said in section number 222. Okay. So just in a manner of understanding, we can say like this. So restrictions to the tribunal. So restrictions by tribunal. This is a need for section. Why this section came? Okay. First thing, what I said now. This particular section number 222 will be talking all about restriction on imposition of restriction on the securities. First thing, let's try to understand. 216 investigation started. Inspector comes to investigate. He come to me. He will ask how many shares do you have. Like that he will not ask me, but generally take an example like that. Online demat will be there. So what they will do immediately, when I come to know that investigation is going to happen and I have 8%, 9% shareholding being a good majority, I will transfer 4% to my friend. Immediately I will have only 4%. On me, doubt will not come on the day of investigation. Am I clear? So therefore, what the people will generally do, they will make transfer of the securities from one person to another person. The chance is obviously there or not every time. Yes, every time it is there. Therefore, I will stop that transfer. That means this concept is a freezing of securities. Freezing of what? Security transfers. Okay. But this is one example only. 222 section, why it came? Don't be under a wrong impression. 222 came to counter the 216 section. 216 section investigation time. People will transfer the securities. Therefore, this section came. No. This is one of the reasons. There are many reasons for incorporation of 222 inside the act. One such reason is 216 investigation. But what is the other reasons? Many reasons are there. I will explain with some examples. Companies will go for takeover. X Limited will take over the shares of Y Limited. But some shareholders of that company are not even liking to have it takeover. They will make an application to the tribunal. Am I clear? Now, you should understand one very important point. There is a concept called as a stay order. What order? Stay order. Stay order means stopping to do something, refrain from do something is called as a stay order. That means X Limited sent notices to the shareholders of Y Limited that it want to purchase its shares. Okay, this is called as a takeover. Okay, whenever I am going to make a takeover, the shareholders of the transfer company should transfer the shares with consent or not. You are acquiring the shares just like that. Okay, now what they will do? They will go to the tribunal asking the tribunal to pass a stay order. To pass which order? Stay order. Stay order for what? Stay order not allowing the transferee company to acquire the securities of transfer company. Now answer my question. Here also there is a section 222 applicability. That means I am imposing restriction on transferee company from acquiring the securities of transfer company. That's called as an imposition of restrictions by tribunal. That's all. So understand the section intention properly. Don't mug up the sections. So therefore, tell me now. Just have a clean slate of mind and answer. Summarize the section need and tell me why 222 section. 222 section has come into the Companies Act in order to safeguard the stay order concept. That means whenever investigation has to happen under any particular section, immediately security transfers may happen. Therefore, it will stop. Takeovers time, amalgamation time, debentures may be acquired. At that time also it will be, or try to understand. Company's debt equity ratio is already worst. It is 3.5:1. Already it is above the ideal debt equity ratio. Above means the ratio is above and performance is below. Okay, 3.5:1 is my debt equity ratio. It is an ideal debt equity ratio, not an ideal debt equity ratio. Then I have to take some action or not. Whenever it is not an ideal debt equity ratio, what I will do? I should not issue new debt. Another debt will increase my finance risk. So therefore, what I will do, I don't want to issue any kind of debenture, but company is issuing debentures. Now answer my question: is this good for the company? Shareholders can go to the tribunal to pass a stay order in this case. So therefore, in all these cases, so again and again, what I want to tell is, since these sections are more difficult to understand, as if like a normal session, I'm dealing these concepts again. Hope everyone understand the concept clearly. Okay, so therefore 222 section does not come only for 216. One of the reason is 216, but many reasons are there. Okay, so that's given in the notes. And order passed by the purpose of whom? Tribunal. When tribunal will pass an order, if the tribunal finds that there is a good reason to know relevant facts about the securities issued or to be issued. Just now I told you debenture exam, that's a to be issued. Security issued means already issued shares. Okay, takeovers, etc. And 216 investigation. So during the course of investigation under 216 or reference made by any person. Powers of tribunal, restriction for a period not exceeding 3 years, and consequence of contravention, penalties will be there in a Bail Act. You can just read like that. And at the end of the revision session, I will put a PDF. The PDF will contain all the penalties applicable for examinations. Okay, instead of writing here, we can refer penalty chart directly. So section 216 is not the only ground to invoke 222. 222 may be invoked in any of the following reasons: investigation under 216, issue of takeovers, amalgamation, issue of convertible debentures, public issues, preferential issues, issue of IDRs, many kinds. 213. So what is this particular section 213 all about? 213 section. Let's try to understand. Now tell me. We have already completed section number 242. Okay, operation mismanagement chapter. Tell me, in order to make an application under section 242, what are the conditions to be satisfied? First, you need to satisfy the conditions specified under section 241. How many conditions are there? 4 conditions are there. After that, you need to be a member. And next one, complaint should be made only in capacity as a member. Next one. Uh, First, 241 subsection 1 love, 4 conditions are there, you have to satisfy. You should be a member. Application should be made in capacity as a member. That application should be made to a tribunal. Should be made to a tribunal, and it should be present and continuous. And once it is present and continuous, you make an application, tribunal should get satisfied with the grounds you made a complaint. And all these things are not new, already we completed in the oppression revision session. So this is a satisfied. After the satisfaction of that particular conditions that were given, tribunal should also get satisfied that yes, circumstances what you made a complaint are really in existence. Once that is also completed, then comes into the play. So after this, tribunal should get a justification for winding up. Now tell me, cumulative. First, I should make a complaint under 241 by satisfying any of the 4 conditions. Affairs of the company have been or being conducted in a manner prejudicial to the public interest, prejudicial to any member or members, oppressive to him, prejudicial to other members, and prejudicial to the interests of the company. Any of the 4 conditions should be satisfied. Next, I should be a member. Condition 2, capacity as a member. It should be present and continuous. Tribunal should be satisfied about the 4 conditions whatever I made a complaint, and it should justify winding up order. If all these conditions are satisfied, now tribunal will take an action under 242. Okay, now listen, see here. Now, first, members, capacity as a member, requisite number under 244, by satisfying 4 conditions of that section, being present and continuous, and justification for winding up. If all the conditions are satisfied, action will be taken by tribunal. Now answer my question. I am not a member. Okay, I am not a member. Once I am not a member, capacity as a member concept does not come. Once I am not a member, but there are requisite number of, I am a creditor, let's take like that, I am a creditor. We have 1000 creditors to make a complaint, but still tribunal will shut his hands and tell, I don't care about you, because application should be made by members. You are a creditor. Though creditors shout with a much more greater voice than members that something prejudicial things happening inside the company, tribunal will not react upon them because application is not made by members. Okay, that means when applicant is not a member, 242 action will not be taken by tribunal. Now, capacity as a member, I should be, okay, I am a member, but I'm not making application in capacity as a member. I am a member come creditor, but I am appraised in capacity as a creditor. You cannot make an application. 242 action, no. I am a member. I am making application in capacity as a member, but we don't have a requisite number. Requisite number means what requisite number? What to say? 1/10 of the total number of members. 100 members are 1/10 of the total number of members, whichever is lower, or members holding not less than 1/10 of the issued share capital. So the conditions what we have seen in section number 244. That requisite number is not satisfied. No 242. I am a member, capacity as a member, a requisite number, but 4 conditions are not there. Some other irregular transactions are going on. You cannot make a complaint under this particular chapter. Sorry, you can go. No, I'm a member, capacity as a member, a requisite number, 4 conditions are satisfied, but past oppression and past mismanagement. I will not take a complaint. Sorry, you can go. No, I'm a member, in capacity as a member, a requisite number, and 4 conditions are satisfied. It's a present and continuous, rail is going on, but my complaint is severe, but not so severe to justify winding up. Tribunal will not take any action. No. Now answer my question. How difficult it will be to invoke section 242. I'm a creditor. I know certain wrongs going on inside the company, but keep quiet, put finger on your lips. That's the idea behind the tribunal. If this be the case, why people will come to invest in a company if I'm not getting any rights? Alternatively, though I can't give you a chance under section 242 or under oppression chapter, I will give an alternative remedy through a section called as section number 213. Okay, This is a revision session. Though it is a revision session, why I am telling a need? You should understand. Without need, you can't understand even a revision. Okay. So therefore, I am telling the need for section. I am not going to read each and every point inside the section. Let's have an overview of 213. 213 section, what we learned, whenever you can't satisfy any of the conditions under 242, remedy will be available under section 213. Therefore, now part 1, investigation into the affairs of the company, not on ownership, affairs of the company, financial affairs, basics. So power with whom? Power with the tribunal. Now tell me, just now I told you it is a substitute or an alternative to 244, 242. 242 la power with whom? Tribunal. Here also power with tribunal. Common sense. That's all. Okay. Next, application by whom? Requisite number of members or by any other person or otherwise. Okay. Purpose of making application to conduct investigation, not to oppression complaint, not a mismanagement complaint. Okay. To investigate. So requisite number of members. Application by whom? Requisite number. What is that requisite number? Conditions to make an application. Eligibility condition. Requisite members. So eligibility 100 members. Members holding not less than 1/10 of the total voting power or 1/5 of the total number of members in case of company not having a share capital. These people, this is company having share capital. This is company not having a share capital. So 100 members. Members holding not less than 1/10 of the total voting power. That's all. Any of the persons can make a complaint. And any other person can also make a complaint. Now the doubt will come. Members can make a complaint even under oppression chapter with some eligibility. Here also there is some eligibility. That means if the member is there who could not satisfy this eligibility condition, he can't make an application even under section 213, sir. No. Like this, you should not think. It's a wrong interpretation. If I am a member not satisfying this eligibility criteria, I will be coming into any other person category and make a complaint. Then why division is made between member and any other person? If you are a requisite member, that means if you are a requisite member as shown here, you need not show any kind of conditions. So 4 conditions that was said in 241. In 241 we have 4 conditions now. Like that, you need not show any kind of ground here. You should be telling the tribunal, I have a valid ground with me. Show that evidence, that's all. Any evidence, whatever good evidence, it need not be prejudicial to interest of the company, prejudicial to public interest, etc. If you have a very good ground, since you are 100 members coming forward to make a complaint, I will take investigation. Okay. So now, when these requisite members are make a complaint, they need not satisfy any condition. Just they should be ensuring themselves that there is a good reason for conducting investigation. That's all. But if it is made by any other person other than these people, then they have to satisfy any of these 6 conditions specified. First, what are the 6 conditions? So this is a revision session. I am warning you almost 100 times here. Don't expect everything to get clear because we have only 3 days. We have to complete the full syllabus. So you have to listen to this session with an intention that you already completed these areas. Okay. So conditions. Business of the company is conducted with an intention to defraud creditors or members. Okay. Next one, business of the company is being conducted. In all these cases, one top-notch point we can remember. Business of the company is conducted, business of the company is conducted, business of the company is conducted, or company itself is formed. Everything is a negative. Okay, negative things will be there. First one is to defraud creditors. Next one is fraudulent, unlawful. Third one is oppressive to any member or members. Okay. Next one, company itself is formed, not business is formed. Company itself is formed with a fraudulent intention. And persons connected with the management are guilty of fraud, misfeasance, etc. Company is not providing any kind of information to the members, including remuneration payment. In 197, remuneration will be paid to the managing directors or not. That information is all. That means it is hiding everything. No information has been disclosed to the shareholders. In that case, 5th and 6th conditions will get attracted. So keep a clean slate of mind. First one, business is conducted with an intention to defraud creditors members. Business is conducted with a fraudulent or unlawful purpose or oppressive to any member, or company itself is formed for fraudulent purpose, and persons connected with the management and formation are guilty of fraud, misfeasance, other misconduct, and lastly, no information has been provided. That's all. This is how you can easily remember this particular concepts. Now tell me, these 6 conditions, all the 6 or any 6, any condition 1 or condition 2 or condition 3 or condition 4 or condition 5 or condition 6, anything. Any one condition we need to satisfy. Who has to tell that any of these situations are in existence? If you are any other person, if I am a member, I need not satisfy any of these 6. You can also have an alternative ground. Am I clear? So this is the point. Now tell me, in oppression chapter we already completed one point. 241 section has four grounds. Tribunal should believe that any of the four grounds are in existence. Therefore, in 242, language is same as 241. We already discussed about that in the previous revision. Okay. Likewise, who made a complaint? This is a substitute to 244. Okay, 244 or 242, whatever the case may be, to the oppression chapter as a whole. In oppression, who is the authority? Tribunal. Here also, who is the authority? Tribunal. Tribunal, I made a complaint. I am a member, eligible members. Okay, they have to satisfy there is a good reason and evidence. But if I am any other person or otherwise, in that particular chapter I can't make a complaint, but in this chapter I can make a complaint. I made a complaint under this chapter. How many conditions I should show? Any of these 6 conditions. Who should believe that any of the 6 conditions are in existence? Tribunal should believe and appoint inspectors through central government, and central government officials should also believe that any of these 6 conditions are in existence. Once any of these 6 conditions are in existence, those officers are liable under section 447. So see here, action by the tribunal. Tribunal should be satisfied that any of the 6 conditions are in existence. Any of the 6 conditions are in existence. Tribunal shall order central government. Remember this. There is a small counterpoint here. Order whom? Central government. Who is ordering? Tribunal is ordering. Remember that point. Just in another 15 minutes, we will be coming across into that important point. So, tribunal shall order central government to appoint inspector. They will appoint. And if really any of the 6 conditions are satisfied, officers will be liable under section 447. This is all about section number 213. 221. Now tell me, 221 is all about a freezing of assets of the company. Why this section came into existence? What could be the possible need for this particular section 221? Point number 1. Many a times during the time of amalgamation, company will be transferring certain assets to another company or not? Yes. At the time of reduction of share capital, it will be disposing assets or not? Yes. At the time of disposal of any assets under section number 180 section will be there, 181A if you remember. Sell, lease or otherwise dispose of the whole or substantially the whole of the undertaking. So whenever you are selling some undertaking, now tell me, one undertaking of a company is there which is good profitable undertaking, but the company is selling that undertaking to some company having a similar objects or a different object, whatever the case may be. So now tell me, assets of the company are going out of the company or not? Yes, assets are the revenue generating areas in a company. Those are going outside the company. Who is more concerned about that? Members will be concerned. Sometimes CG will be concerned. Sometimes creditors will be concerned. You may ask, sir, why creditors are concerned about my assets? Creditors are of 2 types, secured, unsecured. Secured creditors will have a security of what? Assets. Those are going out. Who is more concerned? Their member creditor is crying. Okay, creditors are literally weeping because they are screaming like anything because the assets which are put as a security are disposed of. So they have an endangering situation. Unsecured creditors also. If you could not have a cash on the day, you have to sell the assets and pay me back. If the assets itself are disposed of, from where we will get the payment. Therefore, they are also in a insecure situation where the assets are going out. So whenever company is disposing certain assets, transferring certain assets, we can pass a stay order. Okay, application by whom? Tribunal. Application to whom? Tribunal. One thing to remember properly, stay orders will be always passed by court. Okay, this is a stay order concept. Okay, so tribunal, application to whom? Tribunal. Application by whom? CG or 244 oppression chapter investigation inquiry time, or creditors having outstanding of 1 lakh rupees dues. Sir, what is outstanding 1 lakh? Because this 1 lakh will have a congruence with IBC chapter 1 lakh. Therefore, creditors can make a complaint, but outstanding due must be minimum 1 lakh. And the purpose, to pass a stay on asset disposal for a period not exceeding 3 years. If you contravene, if you transfer the assets even at the time of this restricted 3 years period, you will be liable for a contravention. You can refer the penalty chart directly. This is idea behind section number 221. So this is one part of the discussion of this particular chapter called as oppression and mismanagement.